Come on in here. Come on in here, y'all. Come on. Come on in the room. Oh, come on in the room, y'all. Come on in here. Come on in here. Come on. Tell the people, say, come on in the room. Well, come on. Come on in the room. Jesus is my doctor, and he writes out all of my scriptures. Give me all my medicine in my room. Come on in here. Come on in here. Come on. Come on. Greetings, good people. Greetings, good people. A Lighthouse, you see, I had to do a costume change. I had to do a quick costume change. I had to do a quick costume change, y'all. I had to put on something to have this conversation. Y'all know what to do when you enter into the Inner Lighthouse. Drop some light bulbs. Let's get the light bulbs here. Let's get the likes up so we can have this conversation. Let's get the light bulbs up. Let's get the likes up so we can have this conversation, which I have been waiting to have. If you would prefer to watch me on your television, your tetavision, you prefer to watch me on your television, I am also live on the tube of you for you to slide over there. If you prefer me to watch me here on the TikTok or the Talk of Tick, you can go over there and watch me on there. It is whatever you prefer. You still waiting on the hair wrap class? I will get it to you ASAP. Now, I had the pleasure. Shall we begin? I had the pleasure of watching Black Panther. Oh, yes, I did. I had the pleasure of watching Black Panther. And what a pleasure it was. Listen, 12 out of 10 stars. Highly recommended. Beautiful acting. Amazing cinematography. Storyline A1. The storyline was A1, y'all. It was A1, honestly. Couldn't have got better than that. Not even going to try to. You can't even expect something to be better than that because it was just that fabulous. It was just that fantastic. Now, as I began to scroll, I'm just scrolling and looking at people's responses to said film. I was aggravated. Particularly, excuse me, at the sector of people who made comments like this. This film reminded me of what we do in church. This film reminds me of church. The rituals in the film remind me of church. Does it now? And I wonder why that is. I wonder why that is that it reminds you of church. Now, my issue is not so much with the statement as it is the implication. It is almost to say that it was not authentic and original, that the African way of connecting to the spirit, that the African way of ancestral connection or prayer or ritual was not the original or the right way. And that is the furthest thing from the truth. You see, colonization, the colonizers were definitely, and has been for both films, colonizers have definitely been or was the subject of conversation. But one of the things about colonization that we tend to skip over as it pertains to the Black Panther films is that colonization has revealed that Black people would much rather be from Wakanda than Africa. Black people would much rather be from Wakanda than Africa. Oh, yes, this is the lie that you want to share. Colonization has made us become more dedicated to a fictional story inspired from Africa than the actual continent and culture. And this colonization shows up in different ways because you see, one thing that colonizers do, colonizers, and this is evident in the film, colonizers know how to enter into a group of indigenous and original people, cause issues, and then leave. And when they leave, they cause the people to war on themselves. And this is what is happening. You see, the difference between the religion, majority Christianity that you were taught, and African tradition is that religion was taught to you. African tradition is in you because you are a part of it. And so we have so foolishly traded what we were taught for what is actually realized in our day-to-day, everyday existence. You see, in the church, you only like to talk about Africa when it comes to Black History Month. You see, because when Black History Month come around in the church, you pull out all your kente cloths, you pull out the hair wraps, you pull out the skirts, all of these African garments that just seem to appear from forth the depths of your closet. But you see, my dear, this is the exact same thing that the colonizers do. Y'all treat your culture, your original African culture, as a Halloween for Black people. Y'all have made African culture the Halloween of Black America. By way of alignment with the colonizers, with the oppressors. It is now the Halloween. It is now a get-up that you put on, honey. It is cosplay. It is costume. You treat it as costume and not custom. Because let me tell you something. We love to claim Africa when we talk about the kings and queens as it pertains to what colonizers have pushed and taught to you about Egypt. You love that. We live for that. We live for the king and queens and the resources aspect. We live our best lives for that. But when it comes to the African spirituality, you want no parts of it. You want no parts of it. None. You can't acknowledge it. You sit up there looking at these scenes from Black Panther, and you looking at your church, you're like, I don't understand. I don't understand. Yes, it is true that there were Black people that are indigenous to the Americas. It's true, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the vast majority of us that are present here today that came from forth the transatlantic slave trade. Because when you track your ancestry back, you see that you see the Carolinas everywhere. We talking about y'all. I'm talking about me. Because another thing that colonization has led us to do is skip Africa altogether. You see, because the people want to be Hebrew Israelites, which you only want to be by way of your association with the taught religion. If you were not taught that, you wouldn't have a desire to be a Hebrew Israelite. Do you understand that that is the Middle East? We're talking about where the vast majority of the ships came from, West Africa. That's on the other side of the continent. That's on the other side. We create these narratives. We're not really those people. That's why they helped trade us and sold us. We cut it. Because if you look at the date and the timeline between the transatlantic slave trade and when the quote unquote Israelites would have migrated, it's been thousands of years. Okay. So at this point, they kept us separated. They just targeted us. Cut it. Cut it. You have skipped the whole continent. And you would much rather identify with Hebrew Israelites. And you will let your mouth, from forth your mouth, you will say, as it pertains to the Africans, we are not those people. And so you go around here wearing hot fringe, purple and gold fringe, joining the tribe of Judah for what reason? For what reason? What point, y'all, of your ancestors didn't know anything about a Christ, about a Bible, until the transatlantic slave trade? What point? How do I know? Because they had to teach them. They had to convert them. To convert is meaning to take and change something from one state of being into another. If it was something that was original to the people that you from, you would not have to be taught it, especially by force. We have to get clear thinking here. Did you ever think about that? We've got to get clear thinking here. And you have allowed the church or whatever religion to convince you to demonize your ancestors and truly believe, let me scoot. And truly believe, y'all, that the ancestors are sleeping? Some were taught that the ancestors were in the waiting room. Are in a waiting room, honey, flipping through the Cosmopolitan, taking a number, sitting down, eating cheese and crackers, waiting for Jesus to come back. They had to tell you that so that you didn't know that you had access to them. One tactic, one important tactic of abusers is isolation. If they can isolate you from your family, they got you. If they can isolate you from your people, then they got you. They always want to cut off the communication. And you find in the text itself exactly how and where they did this. Let's go into the Tower of Babel story, shall we? Let's go into the text. We're going to go to the Tower of Babel. I just want to pull up the scriptures. I want to pull up the scriptures, please. I want you to know I am also live on the Tube of You. So if you want to be on there, get there. If you want to watch me on your TV, get there. If you want to look at me on here, that's fine too. Can I pull up the text? Open up your Bible, saying, if you still have it. Open up your Bibles. Please put this scripture in the comments on the Tube of You so that people can have a reference. We are going to Genesis chapter 11, verse 1 through 9. Genesis chapter 11, verses 1 through 9. Are you there? Thank you, Iyanifa. Genesis chapter 11, verse 1 through 9. And y'all stay connected on here, okay? Because later we're gonna hop over to the Tube of You. We're gonna hop over to the Tube of You, and we're gonna bring up Iyanifa, Shondra Cheris, priestess of Ifa, a priestess of Ifa of the Isese tradition. And we're going to talk to her about this. But for right now, open your Bibles to Genesis chapter 11, verse 1 through 9. And it reads, "Now the whole world had one language and one common speech." The whole world was on the same page. As people moved eastward, they found a plain in Shinar and settled there. They said to each other, "Come, let's make bricks and bake them thoroughly." They used brick instead of stone and tar for mortar. Then they said, listen, y'all. Then they said, "Come, let us build a city with a tower that reaches to heaven, so that we may make a name for ourselves. Otherwise, we will be scattered across the face of the earth." So being scattered was their fear. Being separated was their fear. The church will tell you, will interpret this literature, not this historical fact, will interpret this literature as saying that the people's going to overthrow heaven. Unfortunately, that's not in the text. They will tell you that the people are trying to overthrow God like Lucifer. Unfortunately for them, that's not in the text. You see, because right before this, we had the flood. So the flood wiped out all of the people that were not righteous. Because God had to, he said, "Woo, child, I got to hit the reset." Okay, let's jump back in. "Come, let us build a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens, so that we may make a name for ourselves. Otherwise, we will be scattered across the face of the earth." That's what it says. So let's interpret this esoterically. Let's interpret this esoterically. Let us come together, unite, become one. We're talking about oneness here. Build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches the heavens. If you are familiar with the chakra system or the chakra centers, the energy centers at the top of your head, going straight forward, we're talking about connection, a tower that connects to the heavens, that connects to the spirit, so that we may make a name for ourselves. If you have a name for yourselves, you understand who and whose you are. Otherwise, we'll be scattered. So what they're really saying here, we must come together and get in alignment, get in holiness, get whole, so we can get connected and connect to the spirit, so we know who it is that we are. Because if we don't understand who we are, we will be scattered. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, this is what Jesus in the New Testament wants everybody to do. Who are we? We are spirit first, and we happen to have a body. That's what Jesus wants us to do in the New Testament. So what's wrong with this? But it says in verse 5, "But the Lord came down to see the city." Because apparently the Lord couldn't see the city being omnipresent. So the Lord came down to see the city and the tower the people were building. The Lord said, hear this, y'all, with both ears. If as one people, speaking the same language, they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them. Are you listening good, y'all, at this? This is what thus saith the Lord. That should give you pause. If you have a mind to think and process, and if you know the difference between good and evil, that should give you pause. That is suspect. The Lord says, if as one people, speaking the same language. Now, esoteric teacher here. I didn't even introduce myself. Hi, I'm Darcel Andre, holistic and esoteric teacher. Esoteric teacher here. As one people speaking the same language. So these people are on the same frequency. These people share a common goal. These people are on one accord. These people understand each other, understand each other. They have begun to do this. So if they are in alignment and they have already started to do this miraculous thing, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them. Then they cannot be stopped. If they get in alignment with each other, they get on the same page, they operate at the same frequency, then nothing they do will be impossible for them. They cannot be stopped. When you are in alignment, when you are connected, divinely connected, in alignment with the spirit, with self, with the spirit that is in you, you are unstoppable. But this is a problem according to Abrahamic God here. And so the God who said, God is not an author of confusion. Y'all remember that scripture? Hold up. Y'all remember the scripture that says God is not the author of confusion? Let's find that scripture. 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33. God is not the author of, for God is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints. God is not the author of confusion. So the same God that was not the author of confusion does this. Come, let us go down and confuse their language, so they will not understand each other. Come, let us go down and develop a lowbrow and embarrassing perspective of Africa and their originations, so they can be separated. Even after enslavement, they can be separated. And they will not understand each other. Because if these people understand their origins, if these people come together, if these people get in alignment, if these people find out about Ifa, there's nothing that will be impossible for them. We got to look at this from a higher level. So the Lord scattered them. That was their fear separation. The Lord scattered them from there all over the earth. They stopped building the city. And that is why it is called Babel. And they want you, if just in case you're confused, it says, because the Lord confused the languages of the whole world. They wanted to reinforce that. And this is all that there is about this story in the whole Bible. You who look down upon the ancestors have been confused. You who think that the given, taught, enforced religion is that of the original, is pure, is divine, have been confused. If you do not believe this, so be it. But my question is, what do you believe, and how sure are you of that? Because every history book denotes the origination of all people from Africa. All scientists denote the original origin of all people being in Africa. Now I ask you about the characters in the religions that you choose over your origination. Is there evidence of that? When you find the bones of any of these people, let me know. And what you do not realize is Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, is in dedication of Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick is an ancestor now. You are and will be watching and have watched $1 billion ancestral altar. $1 billion ancestral veneration. That's what you watch when you watch Black Panther. And I want you to know, when you bought your ticket, that was your offering. That was your offering. I hope your wigs are still attached. That was your offering. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, is $1 billion ancestral veneration. That's your offering. When you buy that ticket, that's your offering. And to the people who still find issue when we talk about our ancestral veneration, when we talk about our ancestral veneration, we talk about working with our ancestors. When we talk about that, and y'all turn your noses up, and you think we're demonic. Anyone who works with their ancestors acknowledges God, Olodumare, the spirit. Anyone who connects with their ancestors is not an atheist. Colonization just makes you think that because you're so repulsed by it. So you think that what is not Christian is demonic and must disprove and disbelieve in God, in the spirit. In the spirit. No, you are confused. Because if you actually took the time to get to know these traditions before you demonize them, you would understand that that is the furthest thing from the truth. You see, because while you demonize that, you make certain that when your loved one transitions, you make certain that you do a lot of preparation for their death. Some of y'all, most of y'all, hopefully, got life insurance policies. You've been putting in money. Your will and testament is your preparation for what you want to happen to your physical body and your things upon your departure. If it didn't matter, don't do it. Leading up to your funeral, where they all show up in your favorite color. Ancestral veneration. A funeral period. Ancestral veneration. The story is very misleading and deceptive. I'm talking about what they were doing in the story. That's what I'm talking about. When they all show up in your favorite color, they're not showing up in their favorite color. They're showing up in your favorite color. They sing the songs you liked. They dress you in your favorite color. They have your body there preserved with makeup done, haircut, and everything. Yours. Or, honey, if you from the hood, girl, they got your face spray painted on the t-shirt that they keep and they wear whenever they want to think of you and say you looking out for them. Ancestor veneration and necromancy. Communicating with the dead. When you pay for that casket, that funeral is gonna cost you about $10K plus. $10K plus for the funeral. Honey, y'all gotta have certain cars. The certain family members sit with the family members to the certain order, to the rows in which the people seat. The family enter. Everyone must stand when the family enters. But y'all want to put African ritual in question mark? Rather, in quotation, excuse me. You want to put African practices in question? There are certain scriptures that you read, ash to ash, dust to dust, as you are walking to where you're going to bury them. It's a certain way you have to fold up the blankets, honey, and close the casket, and the pallbearers lift on the side together in one accord. This is ritual. That's ancestor veneration. If it didn't matter, you wouldn't do it. And I know y'all seen in these past couple of years, the I shall wear a crown. All that when they're walking down slowly, honey, with the crown in their hand and the wings on. I know y'all seen that. When they walking slowly and they place the crown. I know y'all seen that. But me having my ancestor altar over here with their picture with some water, honey, with that with a candle is a problem. That is just demonic. But with the hardest steps I have ever seen, y'all are walking, placing these crowns on these people's heads with the hardest steps and the highest of knees. Then y'all all leave a flower. You give them their flowers. You put the flower on the casket. Y'all up here at the burial site, which costs a whole bunch of more money. You got to say a certain scripture and you sing a certain song. As they let the casket down into the ground. All of that and then some. You have paid extra money, the extra thousands, to make sure that the body don't shake, rattle, and roll and drown in the grave. So you pay extra money to have it all sealed up. You pay thousands of dollars for the headstone. But y'all don't do ancestral veneration? Y'all done captured the dove, released the doves. Some of the doves getting hit by 18-wheelers on the highway because y'all releasing the doves out. Y'all got the animal rituals. Put the tombstone down. Y'all come back every year on their birthday and release balloons. You release balloons on their birthday. Ritual. Ancestral veneration. Showing their t-shirt, wearing their t-shirt. Some of y'all, let me tell you, some of y'all bring chairs and tables and ice chests. Y'all there barbecuing at the grave. Just disturbing their rest, girl. Because they're sleeping. You have become confused. Y'all pour out one for the homie. You see, pop culture has taught you that's a ghetto thug thing. But if you knew your culture, you would know that's called pouring libations. That's pouring libations. That's an African traditional practice. But you've been so confused. You've let the colonizers make fun of that, so you have attributed that to thugs and gangsters. Elevate your mind. Reconnect. Get in alignment with truth. Get in alignment with that. Use your mind. Connect with people who does this. Come on, thank you, subscribers. Thank you for subscribing on my Talk of Tig. Y'all celebrate their birthdays. sending text message. Y'all know it's been this long. Y'all, we gotta do something for their birthday. Why? Did dad know nothing? I thought they said the dad know nothing. Ain't that what they say, Jax? The dad know nothing. But you always say, man, grandma was looking out like y'all was looking out for me. Like, how they looking out for you and they don't know nothing, they sleep? How? Stop being foolish. Stop it. Because the religion that you are trading your tradition for, if you really knew the word religion means to bind. Did you know that? That's the etymology. Your tradition is in you. It is what you are a part of. It is in your it is in you. The reason why you watch Black Panther and get fever all over the body, get chills and trembles, you get that because it is a familiarity that's in your DNA. That's why. You get that because you know it. You know it. It's in you. It didn't have to be taught to you. You naturally honor your family. They didn't have to tell you that. You naturally had love and respect for all things because that's your tradition. That's in you. You didn't have to be taught that. You didn't have to be threatened with hell to know that God is in everything and all things. You ain't had to be threatened with that. Because your tradition teaches you that already. You don't need these colonized texts for you to be a good person. If I have to threaten you with the ripping and gnashing of teeth in order for you to love your neighbor, there's a problem. You can't be a good person without being threatened to be sentenced to hell for eternity. We have a serious issue here. Your tradition's in you. And you don't have to be taught that these religions was made up. You know that already. You already know that tampered with is an understatement. Edited is an understatement. There is a documentary on Gaia, Gaia, that is about the conspiracy of Romans inventing Christ, because they did invent Christ. Get out of the trick bag. Get out of the trick bag. And connect with your true power source. Self, the spirit, the ancestors, God, Olodumare, your spirit team. Get in alignment that way, y'all. Y'all don't mean put on 2 rings. I done made a whole new ring. Oh, this is vicious. Y'all see I made a new, wait a minute. I made a whole new ring. Hold up. This is vicious. I done figured out something here. Oh, y'all can't tell me nothing now. I done figured out something. Okay. I done figured out something. But what's amazing Let's teach in real time. What's amazing here, you got the elephant, y'all. The elephant is a symbol of wisdom. If you are in the Orisha practice, you know the Orishas that this is connected to. I want you to know that at the top of the elephant's head, the crown, is where the roots of the tree are that spread out. That is giving enlightenment. That is giving sunrise. The tree never forgets. Come on. Neither does the elephant. The elephant, Spirit, you better teach in real time. The elephant is noted for having the best memory. The elephant does not forget. With the tree of life on top its head, the roots, the elephant does not forget its grounds, its foundation. The elephant does not forget, and neither should you. The elephant don't forget. The elephant does not forget. And it is one of the most powerful animals on this planet. Come on, elephant trunk and the tree trunk. Are y'all seeing the alignment here? This is the spirit teaching in real time. I did this subconsciously. I wasn't paying attention to do this. That's ancestor. That's the spirit moving to teach a lesson in real time. The elephant does not forget. Come on with the facts. Someone said, what is it? Rooted Future said, elephants have graveyards and visit their dead. Original ancestor. Let me find out. Teach. So this is what we're going to do. For those of you who would like to continue this conversation with Iyanifa, boom, I'm back. For those of you that would like to continue this conversation with Iyanifa, Shondra Cheris, who is a priestess of Ifa, a Yoruba priestess, go over to the YT right now. Get off of the Taco Tick. Go to Darcel Andre on YT right now. Get their stat. Get their stat, because I'm getting ready to leave you all here and connect there. Iyanifa, wherever you're watching, I'm getting ready to email you the link here so you could join. So get off of here and go to Darcel Andre on YT on the YouTube, girl. Get there on the tube of you. Get their stat. Get off of here and go. Darcel Andre. Or better yet, Iyanifa, I'm going to put in the comments. Get off of here and go. Peace, y'all. Peace. Catch us on YT. Look up Darcel Andre. Put me on your television. I saw like, all right, y'all, we over here This is for Iyanifa. Iyanifa's joining. I don't know if she saw. Maybe let me email it to her anyways. She probably is waiting for it to hear from TikTok. Yes, y'all better cross over. Y'all better cross over. Yes, y'all better cross over. While y'all over here, go ahead and click that link. Hit that YT. Hit that subscribe. Hit that good old subscribe. While we bring Iyanifa on here. Y'all, if my camera goes out, it's not because I'm off. If my camera goes out, it's not because I'm off, y'all. Hey, y'all, remember, right now, we just want Iyanifa here. That's the only one. It doesn't mean I'm off. It's just that I've literally, between sessions and teaching classes on YT, on my Patreon, which y'all need to join the Patreon. Let me see. Did she get it? Oh, somebody just joined the Patreon. Good job. Hey, Lexington from TikTok. Hey, Vontressa from TikTok. Oh, she's yet on her way. She is yet on her way. Now, I want y'all to do this. When we do bring Iyanifa up here, she is my spiritual mother. So y'all will be putting all the respect and love on her name. She is much more calm and much more at peace than I am. She has mastered peace a lot easier, a lot faster than I have. And I want y'all to put the infinity symbol in the comments. That is her symbol. The infinity symbol. Are y'all ready for Iyanifa, Shondra, Cheris? What?
Not the intro. All right, we good.
Listen, I had to get your. Oh, wait a minute. Now, hold up. Let me take my.
I can't with you. If you don't come back up here, I gotta match your energy.
Listen, this is. Here they go. They put it all in the comments.
Hey, come on.
All in the comments.
I can see
now,
it.
I want y'all to know something. You see, when you're living right and you're in alignment, you look great. Okay.
All the time. Don't match your age.
It don't listen. You look great.
Thank you.
Look great. Hold up. Let me put this up here so everybody can see your name. So when they look you up, they know exactly what they need to be seeing.
I had some of them go find me on LinkedIn. Hey, y'all.
They went to find you on LinkedIn?
They did recently.
Okay, come on, LinkedIn.
I was like, I got you. And you're going to see this is up there too.
Oh, period. It's up there.
And they're still sending me people that are like, we want to hire you. I'm like, that's great. Work for myself. Thanks.
So, Iyanifa, listen.
Yes.
When you saw Black Panther, what was your feelings from watching it?
First, I was excited because I told you need to go.
You did. You were right. Yes.
Mm-hmm. People already made note of what they were going to do, and what people don't know this. And unless you go to my LinkedIn, you know that I do some entertainment stuff, my past life, and then I help people with that kind of stuff. So I had a little inside with what was going to happen as far as production and how hard the people worked. So let me first give accolades to the people that were hired newly to work on this film. And they were all people of color.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Come on.
They were hired to work on the backdrop, to design the clothing, to do all kind of things. The way the lighting, the digital stuff, all of that. So let me give a shout out to them. Some of them straight out of school, and this was their let's get started, right? And then they were able to do something out of nothing.
Right.
So
wait, Iyanifa, you're secondly, hold on, you're breaking up a lot. Are you connected to some good Wi-Fi?
Lies. Probably not. No, I'm using my phone and not the computer. Okay. So you want me to change?
Or just adjust? Can you adjust it? Can you switch or what?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, switch. because we want the good quality. We want to be able to see and hear you in real time. Okay,
You are so funny.
as you
How's
spit
it
the
doing
fact.
now?
Let me see.
Is it doing
Mm,
good?
mm,
No.
no,
I need to
not right
switch.
now. Okay, switch, and we'll take a brief break.
Let me switch. All
Okay.
right.
Iyanifa's gonna switch because I want y'all to hear her in her full esteem. Full esteem. Full esteem. What y'all saying down here in these comments? So pretty. Isn't she gorgeous? You see, when you living right, you looking right. If you up here looking busted down and tired, living life on a merry-go-round. We're gonna wait for Iyanifa to get up here. Come on, y'all. Y'all still putting the things down here. Good. Good. And also, while we're here, y'all do make sure to join the Patreon, period. Make sure to join the Patreon. We have classes. We're learning about how can we enter a mastery level of our emotions. And so we're letting Iyanifa switch. What we have, so excited to see her tonight. I'm telling you, she's finna drop the wisdom. She's getting ready to drop the wisdom. And you want to be in that number when the Saints go marching in. Okay? You want to be, oh yes, you want to be in that number when the Saints go marching in. Yes, her symbol is, come on, go. I'm telling you, Iyanifa, listen, I'll tell y'all again, when you're living right, you be right. As we talking about the new Black Panther, yes, we are. Yes, we are. And she was just saying that she had she had insight on the creation of the film. And so she already knew some things was going on. So she's going to talk about that, and she's going to talk about from the Isese and African tradition perspective. As a mixed babe, my father's Creole. Would this still be just as much as my culture as well? Yes, it is, Lexington. Yes, it is. It absolutely is. As far as her different things because a lot of people are speaking from a place not of the tradition, because the tradition, and she'll explain that. Link again. Okay, hold up. Let me put the link again for you, Iyanifa. Hold on, wait a minute. Put it down here for her. She will explain that, because actually in Ifa, you can't turn people away. Anyhow, so if you wasn't, girl, you can still get help. Mind you, the link is only for Iyanifa to join, not for y'all. I will let y'all know when y'all can come on. Okay, this is just for Iyanifa to join. Okay, she's connecting her things. And she's getting ready to come up here. Let me see, with Iyanifa. I see her up here, but she's not fully connected. Iyanifa, I see you backstage, but it says that you're not fully connected. It says you still got to connect your microphone to your camera. Y'all want to see the double ring situation? Hold, let me put it back together, because that blew my wig off. Let me see if it's going to focus. I got to move my face. Listen. Wasn't that amazing how we got that information in real time, y'all? That was amazing. And for those of you who are joining in and don't remember what we're talking about or don't know what we're talking about Ancestor Veneration. We're talking about Black Panther. We're talking about it is the what? Rihanna says it is the something. I'll be back. Okay. Yes, it was. It was. You see, link. Okay, boom. Let me drop the link again. Again, don't click this link. This is for Iyanifa. You see, the anti-energy don't want her to get up here. Or rather, it's too much energy between both of us and trying to mess things up. So here we go. The link is only for Iyanifa. Okay. Let's see what else y'all saying down here. Top notch security jacks. Y'all please be respectful with your comments or get removed from the live. Please hold questions until otherwise told. Thank you, security. Top notch security jacks. Thank you for clarification. Ready to incorporate more in my practice. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Good. Yeah, because see, what people don't understand is that when you talk about the practices of the original people, it is all inclusive. It is all inclusive, honey. So that's what got us in trouble in the first place, being inclusive. But that's how we are. Yeah, how that showed up in real time was amazing. Let me look here. Okay, boom. Thank God. And there she goes. Honey, everything was trying to stop you.
Not letting me do it. Do you hear me?
It was not trying to let you do it.
All my 30,000 phones, I went ahead because I wanted to keep it on the phone, but no, we had to do the computer. Let's get it.
We had to do the computer. Okay, you were telling us about you had a little bit of insight as to what was going on.
So before the movie actually came out, I was told that they hired a whole bunch of young people that have never done production and stuff before to give them an opportunity. And they were all people of color. So the whole team was nothing but people of color.
Wow. Wow.
So I was looking forward to it. I was like, oh, like what's going to happen now? So I knew some of that and some of the other things happening. And those of you all who want to know how I know, allegedly, if you go to my Instagram, you'll see a certain picture that I took when I went to a YouTube event, and you'll get to see how I know. But between the movies this summer, that was my favorite.
Yes, yes.
Chadwick also is from the southern parts of South Carolina, the smaller places we don't talk about, right? And then I made sure that I didn't look at what everybody else said because I wanted to have an authentic experience. So I did really good with not finding out anything ahead of time. And I loved it. As you know, I told you needed to see it.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
My mini-me cried, had an emotional experience, and just kept saying, oh, that's what we do. Oh, that looks like the celebrations we watch.
Yes.
Right? Because she only knows it from the perspective of African traditions. So she's like, oh, we watch that all the time on video, right? So for her, it's not something that was a copied behavior. It's something that she knows to be what it is.
Yes. Yes. Period.
Yeah.
And so I think one of the biggest things that there were several things that I was clearly, I'm not going to say heated, I was warmed up about. I should have my limeade. That's what I should be drinking.
Yes,
To
yes,
help me out. One of the
yes,
things that kind of bothers me is like we have this, because of colonization, we have this falsified view of African tradition and African culture. And it is from a supremacist viewpoint. In fact, we start thinking of our own origins as the colonizers do.
yes. But we were conditioned to do so. Our
Yes.
ancestors were conditioned to do so.
Right. Right. And so, can we just clear up some spiritual myths or some myths about African culture and about African spiritual practices that we, as a dear God, as Americans who, have been victims of the diaspora, or wherever the people are watching from who are victims of the diaspora, what are some things that we need to know about our own selves so we can get back connected?
That wearing black isn't a thing for us.
Not, wait a minute, not while I'm in a black sweater.
Yes. So let me clarify. When it comes to recognizing death or honoring those who have died, people aren't
Mm.
falling out. It's a celebration. The same way you saw it on that movie with everybody in white. And what was interesting is they took some of what's practiced in New Orleans, right? Because nobody paid attention to that. And
Mm-mm.
they don't realize that type of celebration, because New Orleans and Mardi Gras and all that stuff is nothing but reverence. So you're doing the same thing. So they took some aspects of that, but that celebration in white, when elders pass or when young people pass, you're in white. The other thing is something that was brought to my attention is it's sad. It's seen as sad. Granted, we hurt on a human level, but it's a party. It's a
Yeah.
celebration. It's like tents pitched outside. It's like a carnival, people talking, music playing. It's not sad music. There's
Mm.
drumming. It's all exciting. It's all like, we know that this is a transition from here. We know that you're going somewhere else. Now, I'm not going to say that doesn't mean people aren't sad, but they
Yeah.
don't sit in that darkness.
Mm.
And we're
Mm.
taught to sit in it. They don't
Yeah.
sit in the darkness like that.
Wow. And what's wild is that I know from funerals where they're like, this isn't a sad day, this is a celebration.
Yeah, but then
But
they're playing the organ with all the sad music. Make it make sense.
then they're like, precious Lord. And you like,
Yep.
how am I supposed to view this as a celebration? So this whole concept of wearing all black at the funeral, that is not of us.
No, it's not of us at all. It's wearing white. It's always been wearing white. Thank you.
Period.
Always been that. Excuse me. I'm a little under the weather, so you got to do lime and water.
Loose
Okay.
that. Lose that energy.
you know.
So
So,
this is oh, go ahead.
so wearing white has what it's always been. This is why I tell you all to use white candles, white everything, white or clear. It's
Yeah.
never been wearing black. It's not to say that black is negative, because people assume black means it's void of all colors, but the truth of the matter is black means it consumes all colors. Because when you mix all crayons together, what is
It
it?
becomes
Black.
black. Yes,
So
ma'am.
then, as a people, when they
Mhm.
reference us as a color and not a culture, when you mix us all together, what do you get? All right. So,
Teach us.
yeah, so it's not a
Wow.
negative thing to have black. It's just simply white is used because it's to show, when you're okay, case in point, when you're
Mhm.
born without the perception of the world as you know it. Your Ori knows you agreed to some things, right? Your higher self knows you agreed to some things. You know you're coming here to learn some lessons. But
Mhm.
your behavior and how you grow up is dictated by what is fed into you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then if your veil is clear and white, what would it be? You see what I'm saying? And then
Ah.
when your rebirth starts again because you expire. So when your birth restarts again, you're gone, you've learned your lessons. Now you ascend, you're back in white again. So
Wow.
white is for rebirth, right? Starting anew. It's not for this is horrible. Yeah, it's not. It's never intended for that.
Wow. Even in church in the Bible, they talked about how, the blood turned white as snow. Like they talk about that as being a sign and symbol for purity. Wow.
Yes.
And also, I think what I found to be very, and I guess trying my best, y'all, to not spoil anything for y'all.
Yes. Come on, Swan. Don't tell nobody nothing.
Yeah, we can't spoil nothing.
Because somebody might not have seen it.
Yes, yes, yes. Um, one of the things that stuck out to me is this ability to access the ancestors from anywhere,
Absolutely.
and because, a lot of people, I literally had someone yesterday be like, oh my gosh, I'm not home with my ancestor altar. Can I not, like, what am I supposed to do? I'm like, calm down. Your ancestors are within you. Can you talk about that?
I just had to say that to somebody today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This goes back into when I speak about when people pick candle colors and they think that that gives them the ashe, the power for the intentions that they set. But it
Mm.
doesn't. It's the energy and the intent that you have. That's why prayer is powerful. When you pray, do you go, oh, I don't have the book in front of me to pray right? No, you don't do that.
Wow.
You pray from wherever you are.
Yes.
The physical ancestor reverence of giving things and all of those things, that's a physical representation of what you do in your mind. But because you learn to do that, it prepares you for if you obtain other energies that you're connected to. That's what the importance of that is. But more
Mm.
importantly, they know, and that goes into people wondering if it would be positive or negative ancestors. They know your heart because
Mm.
they are a reflection of you, and their
Mm.
blood runs within your blood. I say that all the time. I don't know why people don't realize that you are a carbon copy of many generations of lifetimes. And
Mm.
so, if you are that and you know that you're that, and science has proven that you're that, science has proven that everything that we've been saying in African tradition exists. There is new data out that talks about now how trauma exists in your bloodline. How do you think they got that? So when we say they live within you, you wouldn't be here without them, whether you know them exactly or not, because everybody's obsessed with, I don't know this particular one. You're not going to know them for trillions of years. Like,
Yeah.
you're not going to know.
Right. Right.
What
Right.
you do know is you wouldn't be here without them. So when you sit in your space, the same way you're okay with playing, like, what do you give God when you reverence God? What do you give a Lodamari when you pray in there? Listen, I'll wait. Besides thanks, because you know to thank that energy, right? You know to thank the all knowing. But people don't always know to thank their ancestors, and that doesn't make sense to me because
Wow.
they are their ancestors. One day you're going to expire, and
Yeah.
you are going to be the one helping your descendants.
Mm.
So what do
Wow.
you want somebody to give you thanks?
Cause y'all be asking the ancestors to move mountains and won't even
And won't
can't
even
even say
do
thank you.
anything on behalf.
Yeah.
And some have been praying and then they ask Olodumare for help, i.e., God for help. And then they don't realize that God sent their ancestors. So that
Good
blows.
God Almighty.
And the
Good
same thing
God
goes
Almighty.
when they're talking about various energies, right? And even in the story that was told from the opposing side, do
Mm-hmm.
y'all even know? Did y'all see the thing that went around that told you the symbol that they were holding up when they kept doing like this? That they actually took that from ancient ruins because they noticed that all people of power did that.
Oh
on the
wow.
Mayan ruins that they saw. So they respected the culture in that way. But they
Wow.
had reverence all through that side as well.
Yeah. Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I think too, man, it's wild. That's what I was saying. Like, we have become so mystified with something that should not be that difficult. It should not
But
be.
when you have a people who want to control other people, the best way to control them is to take away what they know. Why do you think they do the forgotten walk that everybody's obsessed with? They would say, look in the water. In Ghana, it was walk around the tree.
Mm.
So why do you think they do that? And then we talked about this. I know I mentioned this about the talking book. I even have that book in my Amazon store because I went and found it based off of this
Wait a minute,
conversation.
the talking book. I don't
Yeah.
know what the talking
So
book.
I'm gonna mention it to you because this is how you rule a people. There are lectures on this about how you rule a people by stripping them of what they know, right? So the talking book. So I want you all to think about this for a second. Why is it that religion and culture of other people is so ingrained in us as people of color in general? Not to exclude if there are any people that are watching this that aren't, but I just need you to think about this for a second, okay? That a people was taken, they were told that they were going to do these things, and then they were told that God told them, God spoke to them, right? Spoke to them and told them that they were supposed to enslave people. Spoke to them and told them that you're supposed to listen to me because I'm your master. And so, because of that, and there's stories that you can read on that, and some people did an audio recording of people who were slaves who talked about how they wanted God to talk to them. So they were given a Bible by their master, which didn't make sense because it was illegal for them to read. But the master gave them a Bible anyway. And do you know what they did with this Bible? They held it up to their ear. They would pray to this Bible and they held it up and they asked, why isn't God talking to them? Is God judging them? Just thinking
Mm.
about that and thinking that you're abandoned by a source you're told to believe in because your master tells you that this source gave them the power to be over you, to tell you what to do. And you're thinking that God isn't hearing you. And then you're getting upset and thinking your children aren't hearing you. So then you start beating your children the way your master beats you because you aren't following and obeying them. Do you see where I'm coming from? Because
Oh,
God isn't
oh.
talking to you. So you're passing this down. So then you also pass down a religion that, again, you're not allowed to read, but for whatever reason, you're able to get peace on this day called Sunday. Peace from working in the fields. So if you get peace and you're like, God's not talking to me, but I get to study God. How do you study God? How are they learning about God in their Bible besides whatever they're being told? But they get a break on Sunday. That's their peace from working, from whatever, because it puts them back in the broken way of following what they think they need to follow. They think they need to follow this religion. They think they need to follow what their master does, but then they feel they're abandoned and they're not doing good enough. Think about that for
Mm,
a minute. And this
mm.
same thing that they weren't allowed to do, right? They're not allowed to read it, so they don't know for themselves. They think they're abandoned. They then think if they figure out some way to teach it to their children and it's ingrained in their children, that they'll be saved and they'll be all right. And God will favor them and then God will talk to them when they're not talking to them.
Wow.
This is how the church, as you know it, is so engraved in the Black community. And I'd say African American, but not all of us are that. We're all mixed up of something, right? This
Mm-hmm.
is why it's
Mm-hmm.
all engraved in there. This is why it's the root, because it was a day that they got peace from getting their ass beat. They got peace to be able to work. And then they got peace to follow something that they didn't think resonated with them. When I tell you that thing hurt me so bad, that thing hurt me so bad. So if y'all look it up, it's called The Talking Book. And you can see exactly what I'm talking about. The stories of this, the documented accounts, because nobody ever told them that it had nothing to do with the book actually talking to the person. They didn't know how to read it. Isn't that something? So you
I
take that
am flabbergasted.
and you call this, now you say that's your religion, but you stripped me of my tradition and made me feel like I wasn't connected to the source. That thing hurt me so bad. Yep.
Dear God. That
Everything else is demonized. Everything else is wrong. Talking to your ancestors is wrong. But your ancestors did what they thought was right by you. So when people go, well, can I put a Bible on my ancestor table? Well, yeah, if that's what they, did. But they didn't know any better. They didn't know any better. So, and will they be mad at you in the afterlife because you don't have a Bible? I bet you they know better now.
to come on. Wait here. Come on.
I bet you they know better now.
Yes, I bet you they know better now.
So if you feel that would help you connect with them better, fine. I'll play music and stuff, and then I'll switch it right to some jazz or ratchet or whatever, whoever in that long line, right? But I bet you they know better now. They're like, man, I liked that when I was alive, but these suckers,
Yes. That is, oh my gosh. This is why, y'all. This is why you have to bring the elders in here. Because I thought I was knocking wigs off. That right there, that's it. That is it. I bet you they know better now. But it is amazing to me, that whole separation, viewing God, viewing your help so far away, viewing the spirit so far away. It's that isolation tactic that abusers use. Want to isolate you.
Yes.
From your resources.
Yes, but answer this for me.
Mm-hmm.
But why are we obsessed with it being okay if it's native, indigenous to the Americas, if it's indigenous to Asia? Make it make sense. Even indigenous to Europe.
Yeah. Yeah.
We think it's cool. We want to learn more about that. We need to know more about Hinduism. Oh, I'm a Buddhist. We want to even go to those countries and love on that. We'll even respect like the whole Aztec culture. Yeah. Right? But there's a whole island of Black people from there that nobody talks about.
Facts.
So how you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But we'll obsess, want to go and see movies about it, want to go and visit and want to see pyramids all over the world and yada yada yada, but won't. We say it's African, it's all, oh hell no, that's demon thing. I don't understand. I'm trying to understand. Out of all cultures in the world, we're the most demonized culture. People like when someone asks, I can't connect with them. That thing hurt my heart so bad. You're a person of color. Go get a DNA test so you can find out how many 2%, 3% of whatever is in you. And you're saying, I can't connect with that. You don't need to speak a language to connect with it at all. You just need to feel it because you know you're supposed to be there. So you don't trust yourself? Like, I don't get that shit. If anything, rule number 1, trust yourself. Rule number 2, trust no one else. You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
You don't get it.
The first thing you should do is trust yourself. Wow. That is wild. That's wild. It's exactly that. And so then it shows up here to where people will literally be looking. And that's what I said in the live. Well, we're still in the live. That's what I said earlier.
Yeah.
You will skip Africa.
Yep.
And jump right over to the Middle East. You have all of these educated brothers saying, we're the Israelites, we're Hebrew, we're the. Can we at least?
Can we just be African first?
Can we just
Can we just be African? Do you know they don't call themselves, they don't say we're Black. They only learn to do that when they go to the West. They call themselves by their tribe, by their people.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Are you wait? So you said they do not call themselves Black. They call them by their tribes.
By their tribe. So when you say, hey, what are you? And it's like, well, I'm Igbo. I'm Yoruba. Even in Ghana, I'm a Khan. They don't say I'm black. They learn to say black because of here. They learn to represent themselves or say that they're black because of the West. They identify themselves by their people, as it should be.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for you. But the more you drop this information, the more I need to get my limeade drink.
Okay.
Let me go get my limeade drink, please.
Look, because you know I got the line right here. It's heated.
Listen, hold on. Let me get my drink. Yeah, are you able to see any of the comments?
I am. Let me
Is there
see.
any
There was a
questions?
question, so let me go back to it.
Okay.
Someone asked a question. I like that you quoted me. Bet you they know better now, for real. Yes, it was. Do y'all know that even how you garden, you know how people do what is it? Not step gardening. Give me the word where you section off in steps your gardening. What is it called and why can't I think of it? On hills and stuff. And now it's become a trend to do, even when you take wood and all of those things. Do you know that that was done by slaves first? Did you know that that whole concept, because they were told they needed to grow their own food because nobody wanted to feed them? I'm just going to say it like that. So, what they figured a way to grow the food year round is by elevating in those structures, putting wood around. They would use sticks and tree trunks to elevate it a little bit. And when they did that, they would then put soil on the inside and be able to put hay to keep it a little warmer because they weren't given a good plot of land to make good on their food. So they were sort of given the side of hills, and then they were able to create this way of growing food. But you know, let everybody else tell you it's on HGTV and shit, and it's the new wave to have consolidate small spaces outside and garden outside. There was a question that I saw, but I can't remember. I don't see it now. I don't know if it's gone. So we came back after the departure. I wondered what the symbol meant. I'm going. I don't see this other question. And I was
Someone
looking
asked,
for it. But I gave them some history about farming, and I cannot think of what that technique is right now. What is it when you raise beds? That's what it is. Raised beds were done by enslaved peoples first because they
mm,
weren't allowed to have their own full plots of land. So they would tell them, well, you're going to get this hill right here. And it wasn't good soil, but they figured out how to make the soil good and grow year round crops they couldn't typically grow. And now it's all the rave.
I'm so calm now that I got my limeade. Oh, yeah.
I'm glad.
So people keep asking here, um, what happens after we depart? Like, what happens when we transition
Oh,
from?
that's what it was. Somebody asked, do we come back? Some of us
Oh,
choose
yeah.
to, some of us don't.
Mm,
It's all a
mm-hmm.
part of where you are in your elevation. Let's just give an example. Let's say that spiritual time and physical time are two different things. So let's
Yeah.
just say that we are to elevate to the 13th floor. Okay. We're to elevate our spirit to the 13th floor.
Okay.
And right now we're on floor 7. So
Right.
if you're on floor 7 and you expire and you're like, yeah, I'm chilling up here. I guess I got to go back and do some more lessons. Tag your it, right? You could choose to come back down and see if you're going to make it to 8. But those people who make the decision to stop before they can reach 8, if you hear what I'm saying, don't realize that in the spiritual realm, they end up coming back and having to repeat learning the same lessons they agreed to.
Period.
And
Wow.
that's the sad part. So, do we reincarnate and do we in African tradition believe in that? Yes. If we did not believe in that, you would not have the stories of the Orisha and the Orumile being
Mm,
used for the Odu as it is. It wouldn't exist because it
mm.
was all experiences that they had that were then verbally translated.
Gotcha. 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 Well, y'all, you know what? At this point, let's come on with the questions
Hey,
because
Cindy, Aburo Boye Boshe Shabato. Thank you.
come on with the questions. Let's put the comments. Any questions you have for EI in the comments? Ooh, yeah, that might listen. Hey, This done chilled me down. I'm chilled out.
Yes, it's helpful.
It is helpful. It is refreshing. Wow. Yeah. So because I think, um,
Where
we
do you
have
start?
Von Tresser here. I guess my
Mm.
question is, where do you start? Where do you begin to make the transition?
First, trust that you know that you wouldn't lead yourself somewhere that would be to your demise. That's the
Come on,
first
self
thing.
trust. Come on, self trust. Trust that you would not lead yourself somewhere that will lead to your demise. Period. Self
Because
trust.
you'll have a lot of people tell you what you're doing doesn't make sense. But it's not meant to make sense to them because they just don't walk on an elevated plane. Y'all hear me say that all the time. Not everybody's meant to walk on an elevated plane.
Yes. Yes.
So you have to understand that. And then you have to meet them where they are. And
Mm,
in that, sometimes that means being silent when it's hard for you to be silent. Because
yes.
there's no need to educate someone that's not willing to be educated. Over time, when they see the things going on in your life, they'll change and they'll adjust. The second
Yes.
thing is set a space for yourself to commune with them. People always want to skip steps and they want to get to um, the other beings and everything. But the things that I'm telling you apply to anybody's tradition. These things,
Mm,
your foundation and your ancestor, apply to anybody. So do that. Set a space for yourself to have a conversation, whether it be out loud or internally. And most importantly, before you open your eyes in the morning, you give thanks. You give thanks to Olodumare. You give thanks to your higher self that made the choice for you to come here and learn these lessons. And then you give thanks to your ancestors. It's always in that order. Everything else, all of the Arunula, the Orishas, all the other stuff, that's next. But you always do it in that order. And there's reasons for that. But that's very important because once you start doing that, you'll be able to listen better. You'll be able to be more in tune of things you need to do. So that's what you have to do.
period. We have this question here from, I'm not gonna know that. What does it say? Oh, it. So
Golden.
I
Mm-hmm.
was like, dear God, can
Mm-hmm.
any ethnicity get into E5? Now that is one thing. Well, and get into is interesting because it seems like
Yeah, it's the way you worded it. So, do you mean can any ethnicity, just answer in the chat for me, can any ethnicity practice Ifa? And I will repeat the order for you. It's
uh
Olodumare first. You call Olodumare the Germanic term, and y'all can go look up the German word to find out why you call him God. God. The second is your Ori, Ori, which means your head, but really translates to not only your head, but your higher self. Thank you, Vivian. And the last one is your ancestors. Thank you. That's my girl. That's my
perfect.
Thanks, Vivian.
Yes,
Okay,
go talking about practicing E5. Can any ethnicity practice E5?
I'm gonna say this in the camera, and I'm gonna say this in the camera one time, and I hope people put this shit on repeat. Yes. Period. People need to stop gatekeeping because there's no gate to keep when you're in spirit. You don't know what lives these people lived before they got to the what they are now. And if you believe in science, you know we all originate from a people. Remember, I just told you that black encompasses all colors, therefore shades come from black and not the other way around. That still exists till this day. Thank you. Come again.
Clear the floor. Clear the floor. Clear
Yeah,
the
you know
floor.
why I have to make that clear? Because people keep reading, seeing, or something. Somebody's personal beliefs, that's not Ifa. It's not my job to have a personal direction to say someone can't do something. If I tell you that the main principle of Ifa is to have good character, which you hear Darcel say over and over again, good
Mhm.
character means accepting people even when they don't accept themselves.
Yes.
Good
Yes.
character means meeting people where they are. Good character means dealing with some shit when you like, really, do I really have to do this right now? Like, so do we accept all people? If you called over here, i.e., you come get a divination, you say, hey, I want to do this, I want to know more, you will get that help and more. We don't say no. because we don't know what path you took to get here. And this obviously is a part of your path for your lessons. So
Yeah.
no, we don't hinder you. We don't laugh in your face. We don't laugh at other traditions in their face and go, "Oh, you can't do this because you did such and such and such." There's some traditions where they're like, "We can't verify this of you," or whatever. There is no verification because your spirit is the verification, boo. You were guided here from your spirit. So there you are. You got it here, get to work. It's not an easy practice to do. You know why? Because it makes you not be lazy. If you thought you were
Woo.
praying and what you do right now, you don't got shit, only five prayer. Okay. If you thought you were tested before because you needed to stand up for the rights or whatever, do you know how many times I'm tested and don't respond because it's not even worth the energy?
Mm.
That energy is not going to beget change for an individual. That energy is not going to help anybody. And if it's not going to help you, there's no need for me to do it. If I say something and I'm telling you something and I'm trying to teach you something, it's because I care and I know it's going to help you. But there's no need for me to waste energy. I don't need to convince people of shit. I don't need to
Right.
convince you. You either coming or you going. And you don't have to be here. You don't. Real talk. You can do whatever you want. It's up to you. But I just don't get it. No, we don't tell people they can't do anything. We don't do that. True
Yeah.
practitioners of IPA won't close the door in your face. Because IPA says, when you knock, we answer. Do you know people
Woo.
knock on a Lou's door all times of morning and he has to get up and divine for them because they're troubled? Even me
Wow.
setting the calendar that I have, he's like, you shouldn't restrict it too much. But I know I can't conflict with his schedule. You know what I'm saying? He's like,
Yeah.
you should leave it open 24 hours. Because I said, because you don't understand, you know, because I'm not supposed to just close the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
24 hours. They knock on his door.
Wow. Could you explain who Aluwu is or what an Aluwu
Yeah, that
is?
would be helpful.
Yeah.
Every teacher has a teacher. And Alu is a high Babalao within the tradition. And he is my teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And the elder that took me to Alu is also my teacher. So I don't just have one Alu, I have two. And then on top of that, Alu has 50 million elders. And if you go watch the video about divinations and ebos, he comes up on the screen and he talks to you about their age. And he goes through it for a little bit because it just amazed me how he's having people in the hundreds teach him their 80s, 90s. I love it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That
And
is
whenever he
amazing.
says Alu, you're like, he's like, my Alu called me to do something. And then you're like, oh, okay. But you don't know which one it is. It could be Alu 5, 6, 7, 8. You know, you just never know.
Right.
And if he's called
Right.
somebody his father or his mama, that's because in the tradition, that's how they look at you. It's not only your teacher, but you are my parent. You are the one
Yes.
that guides me, right?
Yes.
Respectfully. Yeah. So it's
Come
awesome.
on. Come on.
Thank you.
Uh that
Yeah.
teach the people. Thank you, Jax, for putting that
Yeah.
down there for the folks. Let me scroll up. There was another question up here. Y'all, please put your question in the chat. And another thing is, we are on a strict schedule because one thing y'all not gonna do is have my Iyanifa up here all night long because she will do it. She
I
got
will.
that same Alulu spirit.
I
It'll be
do.
3 in the morning and she'll be like, now E5. I was like, Iyanifa, please. Let's see. How can you tell the difference between which ancestor or energy is communicating with you?
That's a
Mm,
learned behavior.
mm,
So
yeah.
a good, easy way to start off until you can understand is by you could take a necklace, a pendulum, whatever it is, and you can start doing yes or no responses. But your first responses should be, and you hold it in your hand. It doesn't work if you tie it to something because the energy has to come from you. So hold your hand as still as possible. And then you need to determine what yes or no is for you. If you want it to be front and back, left, right, circle. Determine what that is, and then start telling some lies about yourself. Like, I'm 21 years old. Right? As
Right.
you do that, you'll see that the connection is established because it'll move the way that you asked it to be directed to move. And then you start telling some truths about yourself so that you can set what that is. Once you do that, you can then start talking to your ancestors. And you can start off with, is this my ancestor? Boom. And then you can ask different questions that way. That's an easy beginning way to do it until you learn what the feeling. Don't rely on it now because you need to learn what the feeling is for you. But it'll help you know. You'll start to think to yourself, oh, yes, this is them. Oh, no, this isn't. Because sometimes people who are clairaudient, meaning you get information audio via your ears, you're hearing it, right? You're not always seeing like other people. For us, it was sort of a developed thing. And you have to learn what your inner voice sounds like because sometimes it sounds the same, but a little different. But that's because that's an easier way to use your own energy to tell you things that needs to be done. So, but it all still goes back. Even after you do that, you still need to establish trust for yourself. So, do you trust yourself that you know that's what you're hearing, feeling, seeing?
Wow. Y'all, I just get. She just gave us a jewel and a practice to build upon to get clarity as to who it is that you're hearing. But I love the fact that you clarified, or rather emphasize, that it's you do have to trust yourself because you may be somewhere and you don't have your
Yeah, you can have your necklace or bracelet or nothing. Be like, hold on,
hold on,
yeah, hold on 1 second.
Listen, I only got one. I ain't got 12 on.
Yeah, I know, right? You're super protected.
Because let me tell you something. Because if I don't have on the 12 necklaces, I am not protected. Here we go.
At all.
Let's see here. We have a question here.
23 and me.
23 and me. So the people shouldn't go ancestry.com?
Not unless you know people are doing a tree. See, Ancestry uses part of a larger database, but they can't break down. Many people are going because they want to break it down as minute as possible, and Ancestry can't do that. For ease of use, it'll be 23andMe. If you are somebody who loves science and data and you love to do that kind of stuff, I would do FTDNA because they're the oldest with that type. They've been doing it since the 90s. So it's like they lease. Some of these companies lease the data to use it, and they'll only lease X amount. But even after you do it, you should definitely upload it to GEDmatch. And when you upload it to GEDmatch, you'll be able to connect with people who use all different kind of tests. But there was a, I think he was doctor of something of study. I was able to email him in the early 2000s about stuff that I was looking for, and he ran it through his system, but he sold it to GEDmatch. So it can help connect you with other people and break it down a little bit. But I'll always recommend 23andMe. I've been using them since, man, how many years is it now? 8 or 9 years. I can't hear you.
I said they brought up that African ancestry one. I don't think that.
I cannot confirm or deny, so I do not defame anybody's character. But I will say that I do have a degree in marketing from South Carolina State University. And that's what I'm going to say.
All right.
Okay.
We will highly suggest what EI has suggested, which is 23 and me. Someone asked how to join IFA. I've been doing a lot of research on IFA, like it's drawing me in.
Nicole, I'll give it to you. How to join IFA. You know what's interesting? You've already joined.
Like, yeah. Break that down for us, please. Did you say we've already joined?
Yeah, it's just a matter of whether you want to stay. And that choice is up to you. So when you listen to people actually talk about the tradition itself and it's not wrapped up in a whole bunch of other mess, you know a difference. You've already joined by listening to the teachings, by following, by engaging. You're already engaged in what it is that you want to do. So your Ori has already guided you here. Now, The part that people get mixed up with is when they talk about initiation, which is a total different thing. And initiation is cool to say. Sometimes I wish we had another English word for it. But the
Mhm.
real truth is, you initiating does not mean that you're going to be a full practitioner of Ifa. It's almost
Mm.
like people who get a certificate, or they said, you now deacon. And it's up to you if you're going to do deacon things. Do you see what
Mhm.
I'm saying?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
initiation is not a way to have you learn more secrets that you would never know before. That's not the point.
Wait, that is taking me out.
Because that's what people think. They're like, oh, I'm going to know more secrets. No, there are just some things that until you get to a certain level, i.e., until you initiate, that you won't be able to learn because you won't be able to respect it until that happens. You won't respect the process.
Mhm.
Now, those people who it's their first time and they're like, in a year, I'm going to initiate. That's fine. But the point is, you're at a point in your life where you'll respect it, right? So the purpose of initiation is to help elevate you to connect better with the energies that operate around and through you. That's the
Yeah.
purpose of initiation. It is not so that you can beget a bunch of godchildren, as they say, over here in these Western streets. It
Bye.
is not so you can have power because you already have the power. It's not for that. It is simply for you to continue to get the guidance that you need on a more personal basis and to live your life in harmony with all things seen and unseen. That's it. So you're already here. And if you want books and stuff, because everybody always wants a book, I don't recommend a whole bunch of books, but they're in my Amazon store. So if you go to any place I am on social media, you'll be able to see it.
Matter of fact, I'm finna go and edit you right now and put your information in the description.
Thank you.
Let me see.
So
All right, y'all. I'm gonna give the people two more questions.
my pleasure, Golden Nips. You know, that's so funny. Is it Golden Nips or Golden?
What is it? Is it gold?
You know,
Golden
we
IP? Maybe it's golden IPS, perhaps.
mm-mm. Definitely Nips. Giving me Nips energy.
It's giving me
Yeah, definitely
two
Nips.
more questions, y'all. Let's put them in the comments.
Wait, does he mean like specific ancestors? No, he doesn't mean like specific. You'll
Mm-hmm.
never know all your ancestors. Not
Mm-mm.
in a physical way, but you'll always know them in an internal way. This
Yeah,
was
because
amazing.
people be wanting the exact names.
Yes. Oh, the limeade recipe. And our pleasure, Francesca. Okay. So it's simply, well, in my case, Alu got on me today. He was like, do you have lime and warm water? Because when you put it together, you don't need to add sugar. And it helps with inflammation and stuff when you have a sore throat. I knew that pineapple chunks did that, or pineapple will help the cilia cleanse your throat, but I didn't know about this. So he got on me. It's like, did you have fresh one? Do you have fresh lime? He asked me about it like twice. So that's how I know you're serious. But whenever you take lime, and in Darcel's case, he'll have to tell you because we were sitting on the phone and I told him how to put it together based on the things that he had. But whenever you have lime and you can add, I know people want to do honey and they want to do that nasty stuff, agave, that's just nasty, allegedly. You could just take that and raw cane sugar, or if you have a raw cane, the stick from the cane, the husk, you can cut it in fourths and put it in there with your water. It can be cool or warm, and it'll sweeten it up for you. That's all it is. But some people add sugar and lime, but it's really, really good. And then if you want to make it spicy, any kind of white liquor, you're welcome.
Not the white liquor.
White liquor.
Any type of white liquor. Dear God.
Yep.
Yeah. I did that, but then I did the most.
Okay,
I
so please tell them what you threw up in there.
now what I threw up in here. I was making some by Vivian's request, since I know she's here.
Yes.
It is almost ready, Vivian. It is almost ready. My Florida water. I just gotta work. I just need two more prayers over it and it'll be ready. Okay. I was making some of that, and I used I had like some oranges and limes and lemons, and I had peeled them. Then I had all of them just in the refrigerator. So I was like, let me go ahead and just slap that in there. and I took some mint. And I look at everybody like, good. They're like, thank you, of course. I put some mint there and some lemon balm into a tea bag, and I boiled that, and then I poured it in. So I add some extra things in there. Let me see.
Oh, Florida. You got to explain Florida water, and then how do you find out what ancestors are like?
Okay, so I'm going to say this. What Florida water actually is, it's a cleansing water. You use it to cleanse your hands, to cleanse your space. You can spray it. It's a cleansing, an energetic cleansing water. Now that name Florida water, you all might have seen people using it.
I have it. Do I
you have some?
I do. I'm just trying to see. Do I have it near me though? Hold on. I might have it near me. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
And he hates the store-bought one, but I use the store-bought one. And as a matter of fact, if you have to clean the vessel that you're holding your representation of energies in, the only other thing that they will allow us to clean it with, according to Mama, because she was like, I'll allow you to do that, is that purchased Florida water. Because we can't use physical water on our icons like that. Gotcha. Only one of them requires you to put it on it. So it's that or hot gin. We don't use anything else. But let me think. I think I have a bottle.
Come on. Yeah, so it is. She's gonna show you. It. That's the one you mostly see. But it's a cleansing water. It's a cleansing water. We say water, but it's really alcohol. It's really alcohol. And so, oh, come on, hot gin. You got hot gin. Okay. Yeah, hot gin. And so use that there. Bless it, pray over it. It's sort of kind of the same concept of holy water, except with different herbs and ingredients in the water as well. So, Ifa, that you should give your ancestor thanks. They told me I was idol worshiping. Wait a minute. What'd you say? I tried to tell someone about Ifa and that you should give your ancestor thanks. They told me I was idol worshiping. How are you idol worshiping? And they walk around with a cross on. Y'all got 7 billion crosses in the house, but you idol worshiping. Houseway. How is that? How was that? But yeah, you use it to cleanse. I normally, in doing readings and stuff, I always cleanse my hands with that water. Boom. Come on.
This is what it is. You can find it. Usually it was actually used for like after you shave. So sometimes it's in the shaving section in grocery stores. And if you can't find it there, it's definitely in the Latin section for whatever reason. You can find it there. Walmart carries it. It's online. You can find it anywhere. But it was originally used as a cologne for your face after you shave.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And
isn't Jesus? You mean, hey, let me stop.
I just calmed down. Yeah, I just calmed down.
I'm dropping the water on me because apparently that just got me.
Got you. Okay,
it is, but it's not seen as such, which is really cool. Yeah, you can get on Amazon, you can get it everywhere. But you use it on your forehead and the back of your neck. I think I talked to you about this actually. People do, well, certain people, cascarilla works for them, i.e. crushed eggshells, but and there's some people that were on, can I talk about this for a second?
Go ahead.
There were some people, I remember a long time ago watching people on YouTube discuss using Florida water and why they make their own. And one young lady was saying that when she did it before she went to bed, she had all these negative dreams. And she was like, it happened every time. And every time I did that. And then I wanted to go, girl, that had nothing to do with the Florida. The Florida water is a cleanser. So if you're having nightmares and dreams about things unseen, then what does that tell you? It's driving you to go somewhere to get some help, boo.
It's revealing it.
Yeah. So then people were like, me too. I had a whole bunch. I started making my own because it was always negative. Well, then your own must not be powerful enough because it should have done the same thing.
It could be revealing and driving it out.
Yeah, and driving it out. So that means you got some stuff you need to work on if you're having negative dreams and stuff or whatever. And also, you should be able to discern that those dreams are bringing out something that you need to do. And they may not always be the physical manifestation of something. This is why it's important to learn and trust self.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Period.
Yes.
Period. Fran says, "What I use in my spiritual bath." Well, it depends on what what type of spiritual bath are you taking. There's different herbs and different things depending on that.
Yes. On what you want it for.
Yeah, because your love and self-love bath is not the same as your curse breaking one. Okay, it's not the same. It's
And it
not
may not smell like roses and butterflies.
no. Don't smell like a hot sauce. Not smell like hot
Hot
sauce.
pepper.
Hot pepper. Okay. I don't see any more questions here. But we have met the 2-hour mark here.
Goodness, you're gonna have to go by and put them what is it that Queen keeps telling us to
Chapter.
do? Yes.
Dear God. I'm gonna have
It's
a whole
helpful.
section that it's gonna be like me going off for an hour, 10 minutes of technical difficulties. Yeah.
Yeah.
Iyanifa.
You should put the technical difficulties. You should put skip this part.
Skip this and go to the next.
Go to the next.
That's
Our
it.
pleasure.
Yes, thank y'all so much, and thank you, Iya, for coming in here and helping us with the facts and the truth. So y'all best believe when it comes my time, when I'm 196 years old, I'm ready to transition.
Yes.
All white, and Iya will still be here and alive, and she'll be. Everybody is showing up in all. It is nothing but all white. That's it. Black dresses, black suits will not be permitted. I repeat. Period. Come on. See, listen, I'm living for our symbols. Come on, symbols.
Right? Let's go.
Come on, infinity symbols. Enjoy.
Come
Thank
on.
you.
Light bulbs. Our pleasure.
Thank y'all for sharing. Okay, y'all. So I'm gonna put Iya's information in the bio. So y'all better make sure y'all get up over there. Y'all subscribe to her YouTube page because she has one. Iyanifa Shondra Cheris. It'll all be in the description. And click it.
I should have live on Saturday, huh?
Come on Saturday, you should. Well, Golden Nips has a good question.
Okay.
I'm the last one. Listen, should I wear white more? Would that attract good things in my life?
Yes, you should wear white more. The fact that you're asking that means you don't wear it enough. And all things with good intent will attract good things in your life. Especially if you're being drawn to wear it, there's most likely a reason.
Mm-hmm. Period.
Yeah, but that's a good question. What's funny is I didn't have a lick of what. Do you hear me? I was scared to wear white anything. I was like, not me today. And then I had a divination.
That's it.
And I was like, no. Right? And my color was red. Do you hear me? Red. Red leather red coat, red boots, red lipstick come through. Do you hear me? And then it said, hell to the no, to the
no. Hell to the no.
Red, girl. Let go of that red. And I was like, wait, clutch my invisible pearls. Not my color.
The red is vicious.
What? Yep.
Oh my goodness.
But ever since I changed, it's been wonderful. Look. But decades of red. Do you hear me? Decades.
Oh, we do have to answer this. Fran is currently sorting her daughter's funeral at this moment, and she's asking, "What is your thoughts on cremation?"
Oh, I can definitely answer this question. There is nothing against cremating the physical body in the tradition itself or just in general. Because at the point when your daughter decided that she was done with her lessons in this world, right? And that she wanted to love you from maroon and help you over there. At that point, her essence had already elevated. So you should do that. And then you should get some cremation jewelry made. Or you can get the jewelry that has that you can put the ashes on the inside. And I think I have a I'm gonna have to look up what it is. So send me a IG message and I'm gonna look up the sculptor who made where we keep our child. So when I look that up, I will give it to you. It's abstract art. You never know that it's really an urn. And then my brother bought me jewelry to put the ashes of my child in it. So I did that and I wear it around my neck. Sometimes you see it's an abstract. It looks like a heart, but it's an abstract of a mother holding a child. So when I travel, he goes with me. He's with me anyway, but I'm like, come on, we're going to a country today. So there's nothing against that at all. Because trust and believe, I did consult Ifa before, especially because I have twins, right? So I need to make sure.
Need to make sure it's right.
Yeah. So do that and keep her with you.
Okay, friend. Thank you for being vulnerable with us to ask us that question.
Yes, my pleasure. But send me a message on Instagram and I shall check it. And then I'm going to find the card because I have a memory box of everything. And I'm going to look for the card for who the designer is because it's real cool. He's out of North Carolina.
Awesome. Go off. Again, thank you, Iya. I'm gonna because let me say because they're gonna come with 5 million questions. I already know. So I'm gonna go ahead and ease on offer here. Y'all click the links in the bio. I'm gonna put Iya's information in the bio. And y'all go subscribe, follow her on the clock app, on the clock app, on YouTube, everywhere else. And if you are interested in getting a divination, you will be in line.
Yes, if you want divination, I suggest you go watch the Ebo and divinations video or divination and Ebo, and then stay there and find out what the code is and use it on a link that's in my description, and that's also on all my social. There's a link specifically for Cyber Monday. It goes until Cyber Monday. I would use that, but the only way you get the code is if you're in the if you watch the video, and I do that for a reason. Okay.
Yes. Period. All right, y'all got that? Good. We out of here. Jack said we are done. No more questions. All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace, y'all.
Everybody. And